everybody, good afternoon. Welcome back to Caddy Girl Garage. Today we're going to be doing a tune-up on our 1960 Cadillac limo. We've already done an oil change, but we're going to be doing cap, rotor, plugs, wires, things like that. I like all of our cars to be in daily driver condition, so if we want to just jump in them and fire them up and go, we can. We don't have to worry about anything. So this car sat for a couple years prior to me buying it. It's always been a running car. It's never been rebuilt or anything like that. But like I said, I just want to freshen everything up and put my own new plugs in it. I prefer to use Autolite plugs. I think they're just one of the better ones out there. So anyway, I hope you'll tune in here in a few minutes and continue to watch. And please consider subscribing at the end of the video. I post Cadillac content weekly, cars I have for sale, different projects that we're doing. And your support means everything to me. So let's jump in and get started. Thank you for watching. Alright, so we're going to be getting started, and I'm going to try to get my dad to say hi on camera. He's always shy.
Hi there.
Alright, so I'm going to start on this side, and you get to do the fun side with the air conditioner and the generator.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you. Alright, so I just got our first plug out right here. And I'm sure a lot of you guys already know this, but if the porcelain inside the plug like that is like a light toasty brown, that means they're burning really clean and nice and good. So that looks really good. I'm pleased with that. And then obviously also for people who maybe don't know, when you're doing plugs, just do one at a time and pop the wire off one at a time and then put it back, because obviously you do not want to have to mess with the firing order on the distributor. That just takes a lot of extra time and it's just rather a pain, unless it's wrong, of course, to begin with and you have to fix it. But this one is right. So like I said, just do one plug at a time and put your wires back. All right, so continuing on here, we just did the rotor. Kind of hard to get the camera in here to film everything. And then what did you discover about the cap?
Well, we discovered that the point system has been replaced by a Petronix modular unit instead of the old contact set, which gives a nice, good, reliable spark. So we're going to go ahead and leave that in there. This stuff does not look all that old, but it's common practice for our cars. We just like to replace everything so we know they're updated and when we did them.
And can be just, you know, jump in and go anytime you want. Kind of nice.
So we'll continue on with putting the distributor cap on and replacing the wires as Sarah does the plugs.
All right. So we've already gapped these on our workbench, and like I said, common practice. Some people start these with a socket. Not a good idea, in my opinion, because you definitely do not want to cross thread this into the block. That will be just catastrophic. So I always hand tighten to start with the spark plugs, just so you can feel it and make sure that it's really going in the way that it should be. It's time consuming, yes, but if you have done these before, you pretty much know exactly. This one's going in nice and smooth. So like I said, I'll just do it like this, and then I'll get my socket on it here in a minute and tighten it the rest of the way down. So God bless my dad, he offered to do the fun side, quote, quote. So you can see all the extra stuff you have over here on an air-conditioned car. You have your air conditioning compressor right here. And so the plugs are obviously very difficult to get to. I'm not sure if you can see them down in there, but lots and lots of fun. So what you can do to make it a little bit easier, you can loosen the belts on the generator, which is right here, and you can slide it to the end of its bracket to get it out of the way a little bit, to give you just a little bit more hand room, which again isn't much, but every little bit on these old Cadillacs helps, because this side is really, really difficult to do. So anyway, thank you for giving me the easy side, and we're gonna continue on with this. Okay, so we're moving on to wires now. So obviously learning process for me, my dad is always so good to teach me everything. But with your distributor on top dead center number 1, if it's correct, typically number 1 is going to be right here. The first one past the little points window, it's going to be right here. And then the firing order for 59 and 60 Cadillacs is 1843652. So on this side, and the distributor goes counterclockwise. And then on this side, it's going to be 1357. And then obviously on the other side, 2468. So hopefully that helps somebody out there if you're not familiar with these cars. And that's why we're going to do one wire at a time. It's much easier just to do one wire at a time instead of pulling all those off and then trying to figure the firing order and also length of the wires. You can kind of compare the old ones one at a time to your new ones over here. So you can get the right length and then put them in the harness and tape them up nice and things like that to keep them obviously off the valve covers. All right, so we have the old wire off right here. And so now I'm going to be comparing length to our new ones. And like what we were just talking about, the old ones have this 90-degree boot on it. We have found with our cars and pretty much any old GM, that 45-degree boots like these actually work better. You can pretty much get them in anywhere and it just fits on better. So if you have a good auto parts guy, if you tell them you got obviously an old GM, they will try to find the correct boots. But like I said, I definitely prefer 45s over 90s. All right, so we have our new wire here. As you can see, new versus the old. Typically, new wires are just maybe a slight bit longer, which is fine. It just gives you a little bit more to work with and to kind of tuck up and put in the correct places. Like I said, to keep them away from valve covers, manifolds, things like that. So I'm going to get this one in position, and I'll continue to film in a second. All right, so this is our number 1. So we're going to go one past the little window that I just told you about. Not sure if you guys can see. Make sure it's snapped on there well. And then we're going to do the routing and stuff later. Snap it onto here. And you always should visibly hear, or not visibly, but audibly hear a little snap when you put them on the cap and on the plug. And just make sure that happens so you get a good connection. Okay, so he's putting the last wire on his side. I hope this video was helpful for you to figure out firing order and things like that. The next step that we're going to be doing is just going to be tying up all the loose wires. Like I said, routing them through the harness nicely and just making sure they're out of the way of everything so that none of them ever get burned or caught in anything, stuff like that. So when we're finally done with all the wires, we like to either zip tie or tape them just to make it look really neat and nice. So I'll show some of that process here in a bit. And thank you for watching. So this is what I was talking about earlier. This is just going to make everything look really nice and neat. Get tie wraps, super simple. You can get them at hardware store or auto parts store. I'm going to take all the wires, put them together. And my dad and me both are really picky, but I think he's even worse than I am about how this gets done, which is nice because he makes everything look beautiful. So whoever thought spark plug wires could be beautiful, but they can be. So like I said, just tie them up nicely like that. Make sure of how you want to route everything before you do it so you don't have to cut and redo. And there you have it. So we're going to continue on and then we're going to finish this side and we should be done with this project for today. So obviously the original spark plug wire holder, the little plastic piece from 1960 has obviously disintegrated by this point. So what we typically do, which my dad had a brilliant idea because wires of course rubbing on metal is not good. So the little spark plug holder right here that's metal, we just take a little piece of hose, slice it, slip it over that, and then that'll be like a little cushion that you can zip tie your wires to. As you can see how he's doing that. Just so nothing touches or rubs or anything like that, because obviously you don't want your spark plug wires getting rubbed raw. So there we go. So another trick too, if you've ever reached into an engine compartment and, you know, cut or scraped your hand on zip ties, it's probably because somebody cut them improperly. So my dad thought we should put this in the video. He's obviously very correct. If you cut the end of these off with a pair of side cutters, the end of this becomes like a little knife and it's very, very sharp. So what's really easy to do is just take a set of pliers, grab it right here at the butt of the zip tie, right where it ends, and then just twist. And hopefully my hands are strong enough to do this. It'll just end up breaking it off clean and flush, and so you won't have that problem. Now, like I said, whether I'm able to do it or not with my hands is another story. Sometimes being a girl isn't to your advantage when working on cars. So just twist, 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 and as you can see, that came off perfectly clean. No end left, no sharp ends to cut yourself on. Good deal. Okay, everybody, so we've wrapped everything up here. We just finished zip tying everything, so it's all nice and clean and looks pretty. Thank you guys so much for watching. It supports my channel, and I hope you hit the subscribe button at the end. And I hope the video gave you some helpful tips and tricks that you can use on your Cadillac, or maybe if you didn't know something, maybe we taught you something today. I also run a Caddy Girl Garage Instagram page. I'll put the link in the description bar below so you guys can find that. Give me a follow on there. Like I said, I'm trying to grow the channel and grow my page. We collect a lot of cars ourselves personally, and I also buy and sell classic Cadillacs, so if you guys are looking for anything, feel free to reach out and I can hopefully help you find it. I hope you all have a very blessed day, and thank you again for watching. Take care.